What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's Thursday. We've got a little best ball. Kawaisenberg DFS is joining us again. And honestly, it's good we're doing it today because this might be the last day for the small ball. The shit is filling up. Let's go.
Well, the top side streets are a dangerous place, so you better tune in to a credible face like this one. Yeah, this one. And you know he's not alone, and they're coming in hot. We got a Lake so Stan and a guy who really likes baseball. I don't know why he likes baseball.
All right, welcome back. Let's see. Who do we have here? We got Devlar, Sean Grant's here, Johnny Fox, We the People, Top Shot Common Man, F it, Nico's here, Cameron Quinlan. I'm also realizing it's probably not pronounced like that, but from now on it's Johnny Fox. Guys, it's Thursday. We're getting to the end of the week. This is the type of stuff you're getting. Brent's here, Cameron's here, Jay Fogg in the house, Daniel Lopes, Chewy's here to the house, Anthony Reagan, Snoopaloo, Blazemore still at jury duty, Borland, Josh, Patrick, Joker Rock, Ryan, Mark, JC Dynasty in the house, Big Ticket, JJL, Need Some Hoops. We had some fun. I don't know. I saw some fun stuff on Twitter last night with some preseason hoops, right? I saw Russ seems already pissed off. Good to see clips of that. Sorry, We the People. I know, just FUD right away. Let's do a couple of business things, and then we're going to get our man Kawaisenberg on to take us through this draft and have some fun with it before it fills up. You can see a bunch of stuff in the show notes for today's stream. As I've mentioned a bunch of times, we're partnering up with So Rare for a couple of different things, specifically the first stream of the year of the NBA season, which we'll talk about in a second. But we're partnering up with So Rare. I dropped a link in the chat too. If you guys sign up, it doesn't cost you anything. It just creates an account. And then if you're into it, it helps us out later. So go ahead and sign up for So Rare if you haven't done that. Also, if you want to jump in the Underdog draft with us and you haven't done it yet, there's a link in there, or you can just go to underdogfantasy.com and sign up using promo code HOLD. You get a little deposit bonus match, which is exciting. This is the only show today, and then tomorrow we'll have three. We'll have the morning show, the football show at noon, and then the happy hour in the afternoon. I think that's it for that stuff. One quick reminder. I know I've talked ad nauseum now about the next Tuesday show for the tip off, but let me just remind the people who we got here because we've confirmed a few more people since, right? So we got Katie Hendel from Basketball Feelings, Samus Fondiari from the Light Years, Skeets and Trey, the Top Shot Hot Boys. We got Eddie Ricari and Shady, Harrison Fagan from SB Nation, Tyler Parker from The Ringer. We just announced this last night, but I guess first time on Team Hold. We got Molly Morrison. For those who don't know Molly Morrison, you can find her at Twitter. Over here, just search Molly Morrison. Molly Morrison, super, super funny, fun little, a meme god, really, in the NBA street. So Molly's going to be joining the show. We got Sean Hyken from the Rose Garden Report, Casey Kiernan from AM Hoops. We got the first mint coming on to give away some stuff. We'll have some 89 Cavs as well. There's a couple more spots that we're still filling in right now, so I'm excited to we'll announce that when that's confirmed. But we're getting there. It's kind of crazy we have that many guests in one day. I'm gonna have to schedule some pee breaks. This is gonna be my closest to Scott Hansen that we got, right? All right, let's get into some Underdog. I think that's it. All of the other crap you can find in the show notes. So sign up for playback, join the Discord, sign up for VIP, all of that stuff. Patrick says, after watching Shot Tank, you've really got me thinking about moving some money around and mint multiple jokers. Interesting, Patrick. God, I'm so torn back and forth on that. Which check out Shot Tank from last night. There's some of those contests look really, really juicy. but also I don't have that much dapper. But let's get Kawhisenberg on here. What's going on, man?
Nothing much, Mike. Thanks for having me back, man.
Dude, thanks for being here already. I know that we got a lot of or I didn't get any feedback about it, but you did about your AirPods, and you sound
Yeah,
crisp and clear today.
yeah, man. I think the microphone crapped out right before we went live last Friday,
Yep.
and nobody told me until after the stream. So using the old AirPod mics, waiting on the new fancy mic to show up. But
There we go. It's
glad to
working.
be here.
You sound good. I'm gonna drop a link into the chat too. I know I put it in the show notes, but if you want to join us over at Underdog, and I'll pull this up here in a second. So you said you told me yesterday you're down to like your final few entrants into the small ball, right?
Yeah, I've got 6 left to start. I think I have like 25 of those hour-long slow drafts going. Just because I said I was going to max it, and then in the last 7 days, everybody kind of flooded the
Yeah.
lobby, and this thing is going to fill today, I think.
Yeah, it looks like so. We'll let's look at the double dribble real quick because this is only 48% fill. My guess. I can't imagine getting that above 70%. I would think that I just don't see that many people doing the $25 in the next like 5 days. I mean, that is a tough turnaround.
Yeah, I think at the very least that's just not gonna rake, but you might get some overlay in that double dribble. I was surprised last year because whatever I think it was called the small ball again, the $5 tournament was like right around there with I
Yeah.
think 2 days left, and then ended up getting to like 70-75%.
Wow.
But 25, it's a different price point, so
Right.
we'll see.
And so this is at 94.7. There you go. Yeah. So why don't we jump in one of these?
Yeah.
We'll get in here now, and let's hope we're both starting around the same time. So I'm going to end
Yeah.
it now.
There we
Otherwise,
go.
we'll be in 2 different drafts. So looks like we're still waiting for 6.
Yeah, this
So
will
you can-
fill quickly.
Yeah, I would think so. Also, I see Ballwell in the chat. Ballwell, the underdog god, the underdog NBA god in the chat. So
There you go.
hopefully he's not in this one. He said good luck hopefully he's not in this one. Yeah, I've been like really hammering them out. And honestly, from our last show, I've kind of adjusted a little bit of my strategy with I feel like I've still been grabbing a 4th big when I've been getting one of like Jokic, Embiid, AD, and I tried to not do that for a little bit, and it's been fun having just like different roster constructions.
Yeah, I've really, since we last talked, I've really had some funky rosters, just like trying to mix up my exposures. And then yesterday, realizing like they took away the slow drafts. I need to do 15 live drafts before it fills, and auto draft a couple picks while I'm walking the dog. But yeah, I mean, that's what you got to do, right? When you have 150 lineups. So
Yeah.
for better or worse, I've been getting some weird looking teams.
I'll have to go back and check after the show, but or maybe I'll do it while we're doing it. Man, my Jaren Jackson Jr. exposure has gone through the roof since our last conversation too. It's been a lot.
It's good. Hopefully you're taking some of those shares away from me. I know you said we were in a draft together yesterday, and I think I was out walking.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh, wow. 1-1 and 1-2. This is Influencer Central. This is incredible. All right, who else we got in here? Let me know if you're in here. I see Chewy and Big Ticket. I know you guys are in there. BMD, Storm, and Pinball made it. Brent's in here. M. Wesley. I think that's Matt Harrison. And then I'm not sure T-Man Baller. If I miss you, let me know if you guys are in here. Yeah, rigged. No, 1-1, 1-2. This is good because I truly think I only have like 5 or 6 Jokic exposures. So
I mean, any team you can get Jokic on. I did get another Jokic at 1-2 yesterday.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you love that.
This happened in NFL too, and I don't know, maybe if I'm just like if I'm programmed differently where like I'm seeing it more than it's actually happening, like that's the one that sticks out. But this happened in football where like I'm drafting 1-6 or 1-7 almost every single draft. So I have so much KD and Tatum at this point.
Yeah, I think I've again, I know it's just completely random, but it really feels like I either get 1, 2, 3 or I'm 11 or 12.
Yeah.
The one that I've definitely had the least is pick 4 because I have hardly any Embiid. And yesterday I literally started thinking, if I have pick 2 or 3, should I just go ahead and take Embiid so I can have more shares of that other elite big? But
yeah,
it's tough for me to pass up Giannis right there.
No way. No, I just don't see us. Well, I mean, I guess Embiid brings the same stuff to the defensive side, but I don't know. I think Giannis is a little bit safer also with a higher ceiling.
Yeah, and he's not going to sit out all the back-to-backs, right? Like you're probably down 10, 12 games with Embiid
I was
just on paper.
I was listening to it might have been No Dunks. I forget they were talking about Kawhi and they were saying that the Clippers have 15 back-to-backs.
Yeah, I
And
think it's I counted 14, but I'll trust those
yeah.
guys over my my loose
Yeah,
count
but
there.
either way, I was just kind of like, wow. So that's like 15 games or 14 games off the top that Kawhi's not playing. I was like, man, and that's if he runs pure, right? That's if he
Yep.
like doesn't get hurt. That's already 14 games he's probably sitting,
Yeah,
which hurts a little
which
bit.
I think is it depends on where you get him, right? Because if his ADP had climbed to where I thought it should be, then maybe
Yeah.
I don't take him there every time. But if you can come around on the turn, like that Jokic at the 2 spot last night, I started Jokic, Kawhi, Dejounte, which is just like,
Wow.
yeah, it's not fair.
Wow. I've been getting which is funny because I saw his ADP creeping up, but I've been getting a lot of KD Zion starts, which I thought Zion would be gone by the time I got that second pick. I've been getting him at like 19 and 20 a few times.
I've seen Zion go as high as 9 in the last couple weeks, and then 22 the other day. So people are
Yeah.
still all over the place on
Yeah.
him. And just speaking of preseason action, him sitting down at halftime last night was not very fun for the DFS lineup, I
No,
don't
no.
think.
Well, it's been kind of weird too because I feel like a lot of starters have been getting a longer leash these last couple of games too. So that was a little
Hmm.
surprising.
Yeah, and one thing that I feel like I did know at one point and should have remembered, but was reminded of is that these teams make their own preseason schedule. So you listen to Jason Kidd, who himself has been all over the place with,
Mm,
I'm not going to start Christian Wood. We're going to start Dinwiddie. Now we're not going to start Dinwiddie. Like I think I was pumping Dinwiddie up last Friday, and then
yeah.
later in the day they're like, nope, Jaden Hardy. So who, by the way, is free at the end of drafts, and
There
I
you
think
go.
somebody that I'm trying to stack up on a little bit. So
I like that. I know. Yeah, we the people said he's still been crushing preseason. I know. I feel like every time I talk to him, he's been getting a W.
I know that the person who took down the 20K last night on DraftKings had all players from the 10 p.m. Eastern or later games, and so
Wow.
like saving that money in these preseason slates, especially as we get to the end here, and a bunch of teams just totally sandbag the last game.
Yeah.
You can really make some money doing that and kind of pushing that salary off.
Yeah. Since the last time we talked, have you had any sort of, I mean, I know you said you're like trying to get some different exposures, but do you feel like you've learned anything or leaned a different way, or like has any bit of information that have come out from the preseason shifted a thought process at all?
Let's see. I could start with the Homer stuff. Pop
Yeah.
saying that he was going to play the young guys more than ever, and then Jeremy Sohan breaking into the lineup made me feel a lot better about taking Sohan late
Yeah.
because he's not going to be a guy that goes out there and scores probably double digits. Like you're going to need him to contribute across the box score, but where you
Right.
can get him, it's tougher to find those value wings late in drafts. There's not a ton of guys I feel great about
Yeah.
there.
It's gross.
And so I kind of added him, but again, bias warning there.
Yeah.
I've cooled a little bit on LaMelo just because, like we talked about last week, right?
Yeah.
There could be some tanking, resting with LaMelo later in the year, and now if he's going to miss a week or two to start the season, like I'll just take Steph there. I'll
Right.
probably reach on Trey. I don't have a lot of Trey, so I've gotten a couple Trey Young shares, but um, if I'm only doing 5 to 10 of these drafts, I'm probably not doing anything crazy, deviating too much from the ranks.
Right. Let's see. Where did Zion go now? All right. So Matt Harrison at 14 took Zion. There we go.
Not bad at all. We'll see if Storm and Pinball how many bigs he takes today.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Storm Pinball was like 5 last week, right?
Yeah. He's getting after it. I mean, none of the bigs he took, I didn't like. It was just a lot of bigs,
There's a lot of
right? For
bigs.
only having to start one.
I
Let's
like it though.
see here. Coming around. I mean, I feel like we're gonna make each other angry a couple times here. Coming
Yeah.
around on this turn.
Yeah. I think so too. I can already. Yeah, because I do feel like we have the same. We have the same thought. Well, the good news is you get to steal one, and then I get to steal two. You know.
Two.
So, Sean says I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson. There you go.
There you go.
Ballwell saying AD over Zion. It's not even close. You know what I like about this though, Brian? I like that. I feel like if I don't get one, I get the other.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy with both of them at this point.
Yeah. And I think Zion to me just it's that untapped fantasy potential, right? A full
Mhm.
season if he can stay healthy. And even if he's sitting back to backs, like the upside that he has, the statistical output in like the limited minutes for the type of like stud that he is in the NBA zeitgeist, like that's attractive to me. But I agree, like Anthony Davis is fantastic.
Yeah. And I do. I feel like I have close to the same exposure on both of those because that's really what I was doing for a while, especially because I've been drafting in that 6-7 range where that's usually my decision. And so it's been nice to just kind of like take one or the other. And I know those are like super high risk because like AD's AD and Zion we haven't seen in a while. But I mean, and this whole tournament is high risk and you have to be playing upside. So I also, who did you went Kawhi and then Sabonis there?
Yeah, so Sabonis kind of getting a little bit different there, and I don't hate it at 26.
No,
like
not
the
at all.
Kings are one of my playoff target teams, and because I target those, top 5 bigs that we were discussing last Friday so much, I don't have a lot of him.
Yeah.
And he's a better fantasy asset than to only have 2 or 3 shares in 150. So, one for the brand and then one to diversify there.
There you go. And I went 2 wings back to back because I've been like we were talking about, I've been finding myself in a tough spot if I don't get a couple of wings early because like you said, the value is pretty gross. And that another move that I've been doing since we last streamed is trying to get some more Jaylen Brown exposure because I do think I have a lot of Tatum again because I've been drafting in that 6 spot. So trying to get a little more Jaylen.
Pairing those 2 guys that you just got with Jokic again is like, it feels unfair.
Yeah.
Because you just have such an immense upside from all 3 spots. And like the Siakam pick, if you can get any of those Raptors starters right, you're pretty much locked in for like 2,500 minutes this year because Nick Nurse only plays 6 guys.
That really, I like again, Anthony Davis, Zion, and then the entire Raptors organization is going to dictate my best ball this year because if I don't have Siakam, I have Barnes, and if I don't have Barnes, I have Freddie, and I'm even taking shots on OG, and like I just continuing to fight. And Gary Trent Jr. I've gotten late a couple of times, although he's probably my least favorite out of all of those. But
right, well, and so you get into this range here, right, where it's kind of Levine, Scotty, Ingram, and then Giddey's making his way up, kind of past that range of guards right there, and I'm right there with you. It's like Scotty Barnes. I have so much of him just from this range.
I know.
Just for the minutes.
Yeah, the minutes. And again, I don't know. I just like banking on the upside of a second-year player, just like making a leap. I know we talked about Mobley a little bit too.
I've been getting a couple more Evan Mobleys as well.
Yeah. Bala was asking my exposure, so oh my god, I haven't looked at this in a while. I am at I'll give you two different guesses here. What do you think? Who is the player, and how high do you think the exposure is?
Okay. Did Jaren Jackson make it up there?
So Jaren Jackson has made no. He's not even. He's not. He's a little bit lower here. Oh wait, hold on.
Okay.
This is gonna be wrong. Wait. Oh, hold on. I might be looking at the wrong thing. Let me see this.
If you've done other drafts outside of the small balling, you can filter it down that way. And I know that they're a little funky sometimes. Like I usually look at my exposure on the app, and you have to like go into the exposure, filter it down, and then quit the app and reload it.
So yeah, it was looking at just one of the contests that I'd entered. Like it was looking at the double dribble, and I was like, these percentages are way too high.
Okay, gotcha.
But it's still the same 2 players up top. But Jaren Jackson did make it. It's not number 1. I'll just tell you right now. I got 35% Jaren Jackson Jr. right now.
There you go. I'm at 34%.
There we go.
That's what is that like? That's a lot of entries, like 40 something teams.
So knowing that 35 or 35% is my 4th highest.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna say it's probably a Raptor with how much love you've been giving those guys.
If it wasn't a Raptor, it's another team that I think is going to play a ton of minutes and win a ton of games in the West.
Okay, well, it's not going to be the Clippers.
It's not going to be the Clippers. It's also 6th man of the year potential.
Oh boy, is it Bones?
Bones.
I love it.
I love it. I got 45% Bones, followed by the handcuff, if you will, of 39% Jamal Murray.
There you go. I mean, that like it makes sense though that that's happened to me the last 2 years where it's like a value guy that ends up rocketing to the top because it's so much easier to grab a guy like that in the double digit rounds than to
Right.
like target Jamal Murray up in the top 4 or 5.
Right.
Let's see, get a guard here.
Uh-oh.
See, I got Giannis, so like I would normally go Drew.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to do.
Yeah, I guess it's CP3 time.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
So I'm going to take Drew here. I don't really know what to do with CJ. I know we've kind of talked about him before. But I also hate this range. Like, I don't really want Terry. It's too early. I don't need more Jamal Murray. I don't really want Jalen Brunson. I'm not going to do it to you. I was thinking about taking your guy right now, but I don't have any RJ Barrett exposure, so I'll leave big body for you.
I appreciate that because I will go right there, especially after he returned the other night from the separated shoulder and looked great. Birthday performance for him the other night.
There we go. The birthday narrative reigns supreme.
You talk about Bones, right? Like the other night before he went down, and I don't think it's any sort of serious injury, but 16.6 boards, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal in 20 minutes. It's the Bones is going to take a step this year, man. I don't know if it ends up in the 6-man award, but like that's where I think the value is on the board, right? Like Poole and Harrow are far and away the two favorites, but I like Bones, man, especially with these guys getting MPJ back and Murray back, and I think it's just going to be that 6-man core.
It's funny, man. I mean, I know I've been hammering this like all summer long, but I just saw NBA Twitter last night catch up where they were kind of like, oh, wow, the Nuggets are going to be really good. And they just have so many different lineups that they can throw out there. Like, I think people just forget. I don't want to say people forget, but Bruce Brown was like, a meaningful player. He's not going to go out there and get you like 25 and 10. I don't think you should be targeting him or anything like that. But I think just for the roster construction of the Nuggets, like somebody like that is going to be important for them. And I just think they're going to win a ton of games, and it's not because their defense is awesome. Like they're going to have to score a lot of points.
You're spot on with Bruce Brown, man. Like if he's in a role like he was last year with Brooklyn, where you're relying on him in a playoff series and like he's leading your team in shots in a playoff game, that's not the role for Bruce. But if he can be that 7th or 8th guy, play a solid rotation role in a playoff series, he is probably average at almost everything you would want somebody in that role to do.
Right. Well, he's going to end up being like the Nuggets version of Gary Payton, right? Like where he just comes in off the bench, plays some defense. He's going to like what he's good at is slashing, rebounding, right? And like you're playing with Jokic, and that's the best person to be slashing with is him. So I really like it. But yeah, so I've got so much Bones and Jamal Murray. But outside of that, though, like it's Jokic, Bones, and Jamal. I'm not really grabbing Michael Porter Jr. when I see him. I'm not really grabbing Aaron Gordon too much either. He kind of falls, like that weird wing spot where it just falls off.
There's just no upside for AG at this point, right? Like, he's going to be the 4th option,
right,
and 2nd option at best, depending on who's on the court. Like, even last year when all these guys were hurt, I still wasn't super interested in Aaron Gordon unless Jokic was out.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like at this point, you're just hoping he's like becomes a 3 steal, 2 block a game type guy. Like that's how he's going to accumulate points. And sure, every once in a while he'll drop like 20 or something if he gets hot from 3. But like, no thanks.
Yeah, not a big time best ball target for me to be sure. I feel like it's interesting too. Like we're coming up on this range where like. And I think it happens multiple times kind of up and down the ADP where it's like groups of a certain position. Like you're about to see like 6 guards pop up here starting with Sexton, and then it's like 12 wings with Jakob Poeltl in the middle. And it's odd how it ends up working out like that. And this is where I think like this is where I start to make my reaches for players that I really want to target. At this point, diversify.
Well, right, but especially because like when we do see these ranges, everyone's drafting the same people. They're like, oh shit, we got to get a guard here. There's a lot of guards, and you see the so by reaching, you make yourself a little bit more unique, which I like.
Yeah, and I mean, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that being said, I will have to take guards here.
Yeah, Same. So hopefully I steal the one you want the most.
Yeah, there's a couple I'm okay with at this point. So
Yeah, and I think yeah, I'll just go Sexton.
there,
That's the guy I have the most of right here, but I just think the potential once this team is, moves Conley and moves Clarkson and
yeah.
maybe even Malik Beasley, like Sexton's going to be there and he's going to take his shots.
Where do you, I'm having a tough time with D'Lo. I feel like I'm just going to take Jordan Poole here.
Mhm.
But I don't really know what to do with D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, I think it's tough because he's on one of those. Minnesota's not a team that I'm targeting for the playoff rounds, but D'Lo's also still an extremely productive fantasy asset
Yeah.
when he's out there. And so, like, if he falls, and I guess, like, I think I'm gonna take him right here. But he's still, more than a fantasy point per minute guy. If he stays healthy, he's going to get minutes. And this Minnesota team is going to be, I think, probably also running a tighter rotation
Yeah, I think so
than we're
too.
used to.
Because they traded 13 dudes for Rudy Gobert. So.
Exactly. And that, the dudes they have right now are the ones that have to make this work, or else the franchise, I hope Borland's not listening. They're in
No,
trouble if this doesn't work out.
I know.
Freaking
What?
Danny Ainge.
I know, seriously. In that spot though, like where do you rank those guys, or is it just kind of like picking and choosing, like either Kevin Porter Jr., Jordan Poole, D'Angelo Russell?
So I like KPJ because the Rockets are one of those teams that I'm looking to target. I like them more for I think the preliminary rounds with your this initial
Yeah.
league of 12. I think once you get to the playoffs, it's totally possible that the Rockets, because they're not going to make the playoffs, right? So at some
No.
point they're probably going to tank, and I don't think if you're going to take somebody out of that starting lineup and say this person is not really for the future of this team, it probably is Kevin Porter Jr.
Right.
And I like getting Josh Christopher for free at the end of drafts. So
Yeah.
I've fallen into that Sexton. Obviously, I've taken a few more shares of Tyler Hero lately, which I guess since we're like 15 picks away, we could do a Tyler Hero drop. But
There we go.
he just got the bag and he's looking good in the preseason. So
Yeah. Ivan, do you think he ends up starting?
he started last night, but they also started Caleb Martin, because Caleb is the one it's there. Cody is in Charlotte, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what to think, but I think out of all those guys, like Tyler Hero probably has the best chance to stay healthy, and he's going to play 30 minutes off the bench either way. So,
Yeah.
getting some shares of him there, I think is fine, regardless of if you're on draft 145 or draft 2.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Funk says, with all these extra users in this draft, be sure to call out too big of reaches by them. Oh, you want us dunking on people, John? Is that what you're saying?
I can do that.
All right.
I saw Philly just waived Isaiah Joe and I think more surprisingly for me, Charles Bassey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought they would keep him around the franchise, but he's an older guy. I think he stayed in college at least 3 years. I watched him play when I was, college coaching and recruiting these giant AAU tournaments. I got to watch him play, and he was pretty incredible to watch against other 17-year-olds.
Yeah. I feel like Isaiah Joe showed some flashes too. I mean, I guess you pick up the guys that you did this offseason, and there's no real reason to have him there. But
yeah,
I feel like he finds himself on another team.
Yeah, and one of those players that history may forget, but top shotters won't forget because he's got a debut moment.
Yeah.
I think he has a 4K. Another one of those unnecessary ones.
Seriously. All right, let's see. What's Chewy doing? We got Chewy, Donovan, Fred VanVleet. Here we go. We get some Raptors love. Little Celtics stack with Smart and Tatum, Clay, nice. Kuz, Rudy, and Aiden. There we go. Man,
somebody take Jaren, please.
Oh, I will.
I have to take him here if he doesn't go right here to Neil. I have to do it. It's too good.
I know.
He's dropped in his ADP as well on the news that he's coming back sooner than expected.
It's crazy.
I do not get it.
There you go. He's right there for you. I also saw Draymond dropped quite a bit too, which I thought I think I'm actually going to take him here. Which
I think you should.
Yeah, I'm not even super high on Draymond, but I don't know.
I mean,
That
he's
seems
it's
too. Go ahead.
there could be a team chemistry issue after he decked his buddy in the face, but like he's not going to get suspended. So
No.
you're getting a full season of Draymond. He's not really one of those guys that they're going to rest consistently on back to backs, and the Warriors are a team to target for these playoff rounds. So I love it, especially at
Yeah.
that slipping ADP.
Yeah, I saw he went like 110 in a draft the other day, and I was like, okay, guys, like he's not getting suspended for the year.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I'm gonna go Homer here and take my guy Trey Jones,
there you
but
go.
I did read a Josh Primo fluff piece, and I'm all the way back in on Josh Primo being like one of the franchise cornerstones.
There we
They did
go.
say he grew. I think he's like 6'6" now,
Oh wow.
and obviously still like 14 years old or whatever he is. Like, um, and I just think that, and he's coming later. So if I don't get Trey Jones, I've been stacking up a few Primo shares as well because obviously he's going to be in that young player rotation for Popovich, and
Yeah.
I think he's got the ceiling. Not this year, but I think he could be like a CJ McCollum type guy if he really
Yeah.
grows into his own. So
I mean,
we'll see.
clearly they were hyped about him because they took him. They took him pretty early. I like it though.
12th.
Yeah.
Dude, I was furious. I really wish I had a recording of my reaction when they made that pick because I wasn't too familiar with him. He was,
Yeah.
late first, early second in most mock drafts. I think I did a mock draft that year and I didn't even put him in my first round.
Yeah.
And I was all about Alperen Şengün, and so
Oh.
Şengün fell. I thought the Kings were going to take him.
Yeah.
He fell, and I was like, oh well, we have our big man of the future, and then no, Josh Primo. But we'll see. They were saving the spot for Wembanyama, of course.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Man, the Rockets really like their drafting has been pretty sharp the
And I
last.
hate it.
I know. Yeah. I was just gonna throw something out. Oh, I ended up taking Dinwiddie with that pick, which I thought was fine. I kind of wanted to grab another wing, and then I
Mhm.
remembered our conversation about Jalen Smith. I still am taking some shots on Jalen Smith.
Yeah,
I know he has to
I
run
think it's
so
fair.
pure, but
He's gonna get the opportunity,
yeah,
and that's the important thing I think right now. I don't know, and the Suns are clearly not the most stable organization right now. It was
hmm
just surprising to me that he couldn't really break into that rotation, even as good as they were, like
right.
for some rotation minutes. And now, like you see, my guy Jock Landale's out there and just
Just
dropping 50
balling.
fantasy point games. Yeah, I mean he won the backup center job, and that's pretty impressive because Biombo was good last year. I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought that was such a weird, not weird, but like, just like off the street, hadn't played in a while, and then immediately like was their second big. And I was like, wait,
Yeah,
what?
and Biombo, like by all accounts, like the best dude.
Yeah.
Like took a large chunk of his salary and like I believe built like a school and or a hospital and
Yeah.
basketball courts back in his home
Yeah.
country. So yeah, I'm a fan of Bismack for sure.
Yeah. I know.
Not for
I know.
best ball though.
Yeah, no, not for basketball. I see Chewy and Borland talking about the Keegan Murray thing. I think people are confused about. I think people are mistaking what like if they thought Keegan Murray was good or not, and it was more about what they thought about Jaden Ivey. Like I don't think anybody was like, "Wow, Keegan's bad at basketball."
Mm-hmm.
I just think the ceiling on Jaden Ivey was the thing that people were talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's shown some of that here in the
Yeah.
preseason. That's another guy that I've done a couple shares of that I really didn't have any, even like last week. And I think just watching him in the preseason, because he got hurt right in that first summer league game.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't get to see him. So I guess I didn't have the hype in my head. And now that I've seen him, I'm taking a couple shots.
Yeah. I mean, well, same thing because I keep going back and forth on if the Pistons are going to try to win games or try to lose games, and if they are trying to lose games, I think Jaden Ivey's going to play a ton. Borland, he was there, but again, he was compared. Everybody thought they were going to take Ivey there. Everybody did. Yeah, Mathurin Benedict had a real. I mean, let's call him Benedict. I think we don't get a lot of Benedicts in the NBA. He was awesome last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be weird fantasy-wise, I think, with that Pacers team because, like, Hallie's, as long as he's out there, he's going to be good. I think same with Turner, too, with Sabonis gone now. If Turner can stay healthy, he's going to produce. But then outside of that, you've got a couple chuckers in
Mm-hmm.
Benedict, right? Buddy Hield's going to be out there. He's going to take his 18 shots a game. Chris
Mm-hmm.
Duarte, right? And then you've got the log jam of Jalen Smith and Isaiah Jackson and Terry Taylor and Goga
Yeah.
Bitadze. So there's just a lot of options.
Oh
And I
man,
got another share of Tari Eason there,
I
so
just saw
I have
that.
a ton of him.
I hate this spot. I think I'm gonna take Karis LeVert and just hope he wins Sixth Man of the Year.
Yeah.
There is Primo. The other one I'm taking is Cam Johnson here, and only because like clearly he's gonna have a little bit more of a role this year with no Jay Crowder.
Starting.
Yeah. I guess Harrison Barnes could have
Um,
been in play, but
yeah, I have him in my queue here as well, but I think I'm going to go ahead and take Kelly Oubre. Get some exposure to that kind of that trio of Hornets guys: Hayward, PJ, and Oubre.
yeah.
Oh God, run the PJ draft, please.
Oh yeah, God, we got to R.I.P.J. at this point for that entire organization.
PJ Washington. PJ Washington. PJ Washington.
We love the PJ. We love the PJ.
That
that
better
poor
time
team.
on Top Shot.
Yeah,
the
seriously.
PJ, the daily PJ check.
God.
I am up to. Tari Eason is tied for 5th right now in my exposures.
Oh, there you go. Who's your is
Yeah.
Jaren Jackson your highest?
He still is, and yeah, there's a little separation there. He's at, or let me get this down to small ball. I don't think it changes. It doesn't change very much, but yeah, I got 34% Triple J, then tied actually Kawhi, Gordon Hayward, DeAnthony Melton, then Dylan Brooks, Tari Eason, Keldon Johnson, all tied there at 30%.
There you go.
So yeah, I have 3 of those guys on this team, so adding to that total.
Yeah. I've grossly found myself at 20+% on Poku.
Oh God! And I think I said this last time. I love Poku. I have like too many of his rookie moments. I just think they have so like even with Chet out.
I know.
And I saw Underdog saying they thought Poku was going to start at the 4, and I just really disagree.
No,
like,
there's no way.
I just don't. I think unfortunately, I don't think he is like in the plans for their like real future when they try to start winning.
Yeah.
But I don't hate it at all where you have to get him and they're gonna tank and he's gonna play minutes down the stretch. So like I'm not trying to shit on the
no.
itself, just
he's been what I've been doing with him is because I had a lot of Okongwu early on, and so like with that, if I'm doing a 4 big roster construction, he's just like my last dart throw.
Yeah, he's perfect for that.
Do you know I've been snagging like in the late round 2, and this is maybe this pick doesn't make sense because of the emergence of Jalen Williams and with SGA and Giddey healthy, but I've been snagging Trey Mann every once in a while.
I love
just to throw him in there at the end. Just because I don't know. I mean, he showed a lot of upside when he was getting the minutes, but he might not get him this year. But take a shot.
No, I think he will, especially late, right? SGA is not going to be playing like at February, March, April. Like at some point in there, they will shut him down again.
Yeah,
or maybe trade him. I don't think that's off the table either. Because I honestly think Giddey should probably be the point guard of the future for this team. As good as SGA is, like, if they're tanking again this year, SGA doesn't like how many years can you do this to him?
I know.
And keep him around. Like,
I know. Might as well get more assets at this point. Unless you really are, because I was so excited. I know with Wembanyama it wasn't going to happen, but I really loved this idea of Giddey, Dort, SGA, Chet, and then insert whomever for your 5th spot. Whether it's Baisley, who I don't care who it is. I was really excited to see that squad. I think we're going to lose a lot of close games, I think, but reminded me of like the Rockets and the Pistons and even the Magic. Like, yes, they are in rebuild mode, but they clearly have a direction forward. But
and like, think about when they do try to start winning, right? They're going to be able, because all these guys are on rookie deals, they're going to be able to bring in a vet or two. Like when they had Al Horford for 20 games or whatever it was, like they were winning some games we didn't think they were going to. So like add a couple veterans that are solid to this roster. And I'm hoping it's not Wemby, but like if they get one of these top guys again next year, they're just going to continue to build forward and they're going to be a juggernaut. at some point. It might be 5 years from now, but like,
But yeah, yeah.
Presti's playing the long game.
Yeah. Top Shot Common Man, also famous Mavs fan, said thoughts on DFS this year.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like a volume play. Like the reason I don't have a ton of Dorian Finney-Smith is what week do we think, or like scoring period, right? So I think it's 2 weeks per scoring period here on Underdog. Do we really think Dorian Finney-Smith is going to be one of our top two wing scorers like more than once this year?
No.
I don't really. He's always going to be out there. You're going to get the minutes, but like the production, I don't know if that's necessarily going to follow.
He's gonna have to
I'll
have a big steal
go.
week.
Yeah,
Well, there's
I'll
your
take a
Jalen
Jalen
Williams.
Williams share. Leave Trey Mann for you later.
Thanks. Yeah, I feel like Jalen Williams has been moving up the the ADP board too.
Yeah, it's probably my fault. He's
Yeah.
I stopped just short. I have after that 30% Eason, Keldon, and Dylan Brooks. I have unfortunately the ugliest thing here: 27% Jalen Suggs.
Oof.
Yeah, but then 26% Jalen Williams from OKC there.
I have a lot of him, but I think I'm just gonna take him here and just take welcome Dort. We'll get a drop. We'll get a Dort drop too while you're picking. So there you go.
Love it.
Here we go. I left Fultz for you.
Yeah, and I think the thing about taking Dort there is I don't think that it certainly doesn't preclude me from also taking Jalen Williams with him or Trey Mann, just
Right.
for what it's worth, because Dort's going to play a ton of minutes in the regular season, and those other guards are going to play at the end.
Yeah.
Unless we've got who do they have out there, like Lindo, Wigginton, and Lindy Waters to close last year. Like if they get down that deep, then all my OKC exposure's in trouble.
Yeah.
But I think we'll be good. I mean, the finals ends before the NBA regular season ends, so
Right.
hopefully we don't get that ugly in the final round.
BD, yeah, I have leaned into this even harder in the last week, where I think he's probably like my 5th or 6th highest exposure, where I'm just out here being like, the Hornets are going to lose a ton of games and Mark Williams is going to play 30 minutes a game once they decide it's time to lose. And so I'm hoping that's just like my late dart throw that works out.
I like that pick a lot. He's just got to get on the court. And like you said, I think that does happen at some point this year, even if it's mid-year, like All-Star break. Like,
right.
It's your third big here. You've got Jokic. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so I like that a good bit. It's wild that Kai Jones, maybe it's not wild, but he just can't get on the court for that
It's
team.
crazy.
Yeah, and I'm not super high on Texas guys coming out of the University of Texas. Obviously lived here, watched this team a lot.
Yeah.
When Rick Barnes was here, I was more high on it because he was more concerned about creating pro prospects than winning games. And now that they're trying to win games and still not being good at that, it's just like I'm not sure what to do with guys coming out of that program. They don't have a lot of success recently. Like Mo Bamba, guys like that. Like they're just incomplete players.
Yeah.
Little Reggie Jackson there. Lonzo Ball. So this is interesting, right? Like Lonzo Ball going to Sean at 153. If he plays at all, I love that pick. But I don't think they've guaranteed that he's going to play this season. So like, I have probably still, like, I could scroll and find it, but I have shares of Lonzo from before they reported his injury was, going the wrong way. And I have to have like 7 to 8% of him still.
It's weird too because it almost sounds like the team's more confident he'll be back than he is.
Based on when he said like I can't walk upstairs yet,
right?
It's like you've been rehabbing for 6 months.
Yeah,
what is going on?
I'm totally with you though. Like if he comes back, like it's funny because where he's getting drafted, it's either an incredible steal or it's a waste of a pick, right? I don't think there's any in between because if he comes back in January or December, whatever they're targeting, and he's immediately a useful, like your 4th guard you drafted, where he probably should have been like your 3rd or whatever. I don't know how many guards you got at this point, but oh my God, we the people says Lonzo's the new Brandon Roy. I hope not. I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not. Love both of those players.
I know. Me
Brandon
too.
Roy was so fun to watch.
It was good to see Brandon Roy in where were they? The Blazers playing a preseason game in Seattle against the Clippers or something like that. We saw Brandon Roy, which was fun.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was like sidelined for it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty
That's
cool.
awesome. I think I'm gonna, let's see. Well, I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, don't say it. We learned. You got sniped like 6 times last week.
Yeah, especially with Chewy on the clock here. I'm not sure if Neil is listening or not, but I did see Neil took Embiid at 3 over Luca.
Ooh.
So maybe Neil is listening.
Ooh, I totally missed that.
Yeah.
I think Luka.
Darius Basley. And Basley apparently is going to be the backup center
Dude,
for OKC.
Basley is like on a
Neil,
DFS.
you bastard.
You talked about it earlier. He stole that information away.
Uh-huh. Let's see what I'm gonna do here now. See, now like that's like the last win.
Yeah, I know.
Like I just don't see a ton of upside for like maybe right here we just go TJ Warren and hope that he comes back and can contribute.
Yes, that was gonna be my pick.
Ah.
What about Evan Fournier still starting, right?
Yeah, and I think like that was gonna be, if I didn't take Warren, I was probably just gonna bite the bullet and take Mr. Don't Google himself there. So at 168 where you just got him, that's like if he starts the whole year, he's gonna play 2,000 plus minutes, and getting that in the 14th round, 15th round, that's pretty incredible.
I don't think he should be starting, but if he is, I'll take him. And then I grabbed Melton because I just don't love anybody. I really don't want. We talked about THT last week. Devontae Graham, I don't really like. I thought about Malik Beasley, who I do like, but I like Malik Beasley. Exactly. Borland said he's starting in Utah, right? I like Beasley if he's going to stay in Utah, but if he moves to a role where he's like the 8th guy, I don't know, unless he's just going to come in and play like 18 minutes and shoot 4 threes and that's it, right? So more excited if he's in Utah.
Grabbed Jalen Duren right there, kind of my favorite big target as a third big there. Again, like you said, I think you said it perfectly. I'm confused on if the Pistons are going to try to win games or not, and how long that's going to be before they decide to lose. At some point, I think they will decide to lose. I
was listening to the Low Post podcast this week, and they had blanking on his name, but it's somebody who works for ESPN that covers like that area, and they were talking about lineups where Duren and Stu play together at 4-5, and I'm like just so excited to watch this team. If it's Cade, Ivy, and then probably Bay, because I guess Bogdanovich is coming off the bench, which I thought was nuts.
Apparently,
with Stu and Duren, I'm like, man, I love that. I love that. Not to win games necessarily, but that's gonna be. And Beef Stew, they're saying is like, a big time 3-point shooter now.
Yes. Oh, okay. I'll believe that when I see it. I think that's just the worst news for Isaiah Stewart, in my opinion.
They were so funny because it was such a small sample size, but they were like, to close the season, he was 10 for 19 from 3. And I'm like, sure. But that's the 19 attempts.
Yeah. Shooting over probably Lindy Waters in 2 of those games too. I think this is almost like all right, Beef Stew. You got to make this work, because if you don't, then you don't work for us. Like, exactly. Duren is the center of the future, and I've just been so impressed with him on the boards. And it's preseason; he's playing against second, third string, and G League guys, but he's a big boy, and he's super
huge.
young.
I remember, because we went to Vegas for summer league, and we were sitting right behind the Pistons bench, and him and Ivy were standing next to each other, and I mean, it looked like it was his kid brother. Like he's huge. We the people said, is Barton still on the board? Man, I've had such a tough time with he is still on the board, it looks like. Oh no, Big Ticket got him. I've had such a tough time with that team figuring out what to do, and I've been mostly just staying away, which is probably a mistake. Like, because Will Barton does like to get those shots up.
Yeah, they also just have like 28 guys though. It's like, what are they just not going to play? Corey Kispert, Denny Avdia, like Rui's going to come off the bench. They drafted Johnny Davis. So like they have a bunch of talented guys like Barton in that starting lineup, but how many of those guys are actually like there long-term or in like the plans for the future? Like, I just don't, I think I'm just more with you. It's like, it's a stay away from me. And I think I'm just, if I get beat in this tournament by some like Wizards exposure that people have, like, I'll shake their hand. Good job.
Yeah. Okay, this is the most homer take I've seen in a while. Javon Carter, the sleeper, says Reed Jensen. Listen, I love Javon Carter. I think he's only going to play 9 minutes a game.
Yeah.
And
I
Red
mean,
has
also,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
how many backup point guards are we going to take from contending teams? We can't do
Yeah,
that.
I know. And saw the Pistons move from plus 1,600. I
Ooh.
wonder if that's with the Hornets movement that they're like, okay, that's one team that the Pistons will be ahead of.
Still, though.
I know.
mean, like,
I know.
yeah, I don't. And to me, that just says like don't bet that even more now because the
Yeah.
value is now gone.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I'm not betting it plus 900.
Let's see. I mean, who could they even get in over? Like the only team to me that's going to drop out of that top 10, right? Because now we have to think about 10 teams instead of 8.
Right.
Hornets obviously not going to be there. So who replaces them? I guess maybe Detroit makes the play-in. I guess that's the ceiling.
Yeah. Magic. I feel like the Magic, Detroit, Washington, maybe. I don't know. I can't tell who's gonna like Washington out of those 3 teams. I feel like would be the least likely to tank, but who knows?
Yeah, and I think Washington's probably the favorite there, or maybe the Knicks.
Oh yeah, the
Like
Knicks.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think it matters because I think they're all going to lose their playing game.
yeah, that's true.
But yeah, and like, why would you do that?
Yeah,
Get in the lottery for this draft, especially.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Where I feel like I'm weakest at guard if I'm going to take a 7th shot. I don't, man. There it is. I'll take your guy, Josh Christopher.
Yes, I was about to say Josh Christopher.
Get some Kevin Porter Jr. Safety or whatever we call it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's view the full draft here. Now that we're done, we'll start here. We'll start at our 12 man because I know T-man is Anthony Reagan. So we got and like Jonathan said, we will dunk on people if you would like us to. Okay, so
I'm in for that right now.
Yeah, so we got Trey, Steph, Bam. I like that start with Fox and Rozier. So really guard heavy before we got a wing, and then we picked up 3 bigs early, Porzingis and Podol, and then Keegan, Jalen, Big Al, Vando. Suggs, Bogdan. I actually like Bogdan this late, by the way. I feel like he's kind of a sneaky value.
He's been falling too because he's not healthy right now, I don't think.
Yeah.
But that's good value back there, especially if one of those guards goes down. Then he's really commanding that second unit. And we've seen what he can do.
That's true. That is true. All right, so there we go. That's our squad. Listen, this is what I would say, T-man. This is a hot start. I love this Trey, Steph, Bam, Fox start. But then you're going to need Keegan Murray, Jalen Smith, and Vanderbilt to like really pop, I think, to save your wings.
Yeah, I mean, you like if we're just going to roast people now, like you took the most important position and like this is not 0 RB. Right. You have to take wings.
So. Yeah, you got to. And if it was, it's the bigs. It's the bigs where we 0 RB. All right, Maddie, LaMelo at 11, which listen, as long as he's back, that's fine. Then you get Zion at 14. Levine, BI, Maxi, this Maxi Murray turn I really like. Collins, there's Jaden Ivey. We talked about him. PJ, Wiseman, Primo, Kuminga, Pat Williams, Depot, and then Love Bag. I don't mind Bagley there as a dart throw too at the end.
Well, his knee exploded the other night. I know they said he's going to be fine, but that's I probably wouldn't take Bagley there. But literally the 15 other picks, I may have a team that may be a dupe of one of my teams. Yeah, so I like that team a good bit.
This Kuminga, I like this turn two of Kuminga and Williams is like really sharp. I like that. All right, here we go. We're on to Brent. I know Brent's in here. We got Cat at 10. Ooh, little mini stack. Cat and Edwards. Edwards is someone who I've noticed in a lot of different drafts has fallen to like 19 or 20, which has surprised me. I don't know why that's the case, or maybe we were just drafting him too early to begin with. But love this start. Go ahead.
I was saying, I think drafting him too early to begin with is kind of where I've been with him. Out of those top 20 guys in ADP, I think he's the one I have the least of.
Yeah. With him being I've been taking him a lot at like that 18 range. Like if he falls to 18, that's where I've been grabbing him. But yeah, Cat, Edwards, Scotty Barnes, Giddey. This start is hot as hell. I love this. Then Brunson, Bain, Hero to just kind of go overboard with some guards after not drafting any. Turner, Robert Williams makes me so nervous, but I love him. And then Duarte, Barnes, Davion, Reggie, White, Graham. And then I like a heart and side. Listen, Mitchell Robinson is gonna miss 25 games, so I'm here for this.
Yeah, no, I like that team a good bit as well, and I think we call that right the Cat at 10, Anthony Edwards at 15. We call that the Borland, right?
That's the
the old
Borland.
Borland start.
That's the Borland.
So I like that team.
We like that. That is a fun one. And again, like we were talking about with D'Angelo, right? Like that offense is probably going to be pretty condensed. So you're getting a lot of usage from there for sure. All right. Storm and pinball. Let's see how many bigs. LeBron, Hallie, Kyrie start. Vooch, Wiggins, Jared Allen. All right, that's 2 Storming. So we're gonna see what happens here. Buddy Hield, Cole Anthony, John Wall, Josh Hart. I like Benedict here too. Jay Sean Tate, Lonzo, which again we said is either like an awesome pick or a scary pick. Mo Bamba, Shaden Sharp, and then Okongwu here at the end. Wow, so
I love this team.
Yeah.
Like I think this is perfect for big build, right? When you don't start till Vooch, and then to pair Jared Allen at 64 is a really good value.
Yeah.
We talked about Lonzo and Shaden Sharp, not even waiting till the 16th, in the 15th round.
Yeah.
Bravo, Sean. Bravo.
Dude, and it's funny. I didn't think we were going to see a ton of Shaden Sharp, and that might be wrong. I think we might be seeing him.
I have ranted on this on multiple podcasts. And who is it? It's KOC, right? That says blow it up all the time.
Yeah.
Or whoever it is on the ringer. But yeah, that's exactly what they should have done like 18 months ago or 6 months ago or yesterday.
Yeah.
Like I understand. I think it's probably more just like the value that Dame brings to the franchise for ticket sales and merch, etc. But like they're just going to be middling again this year. Yeah. They're not beating anybody in the playoffs.
No.
And their best asset is probably Shaden Sharp after Damian Lillard. So like he needs to play.
Yeah.
But he also shouldn't be playing for a team that's trying to win games right now. So they're kind of in a pickle there, and it doesn't help that Chauncey Billups is not a very good coach.
Yeah, that is a tough. That also shots fired at Chauncey, but I agree that is that's a tough situation there. They're just good enough to get the 9 seed and then get bounced in the play-in. And then, all right, so we got BMD here with the Ja Dame start. Then Jimmy Mobley. This is fine. I like this. Jimmy, if he is someone I'm having a tough time with, because I do think if he just like plays a lot of games, he's going to be an awesome pick.
Yep. But he doesn't like Mike. He needs to be in the same. Like we give Anthony Davis shit, and rightfully so, for not being able to stay on the court. My namesake Kawhi has averaged like I think just under 60 games a year over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Butler hasn't played more than like 57 games in the last 5 years either. And so I think he should be right in that same conversation. And it's not getting better for the man.
No. And I would say right. And it's funny because we just think about the playoffs and what he's done. And if this was a best ball playoff draft, then I think Jimmy Butler's probably a first round pick because he's going to play like 40 minutes and take a bunch of shots. But he's just not doing that in the regular season. So again, if he plays, I think this pick's awesome, but it's such a weird spot because I feel like you are supposed to take him there, right? When you look at the people who were taken around him, right? Because we were going this, I guess I'd probably I don't really love Levine there, but I would take Jimmy over Levine. Scotty, I guess, would be the only case.
And I still think I'm taking Jimmy over Scotty there. So I think it was kind of at the right place there in the 30s. Definitely one of those guys that's slipping. Never take Jimmy Butler over Paul George unless I had Kawhi. And even then, I might think about just stacking those two Clippers.
Yeah. And then we got Mobley, MPJ, Toby. I don't mind Toby here. I feel like I'm never taking him. Just because I'm like, oh, he's the 4th option, but he's still going to get buckets.
High floor, low ceiling play, and
exactly.
You need wings, and that's a playoff team target. So I like the bias there.
And with Mobley as your first big, I like Wendell Carter here for your second big, like another just safety guy who's going to do fine. Then OG, our man, Bones Io back-to-back. Love that. That's sex. Boyan, Claxton, Rui, Ty Jones, THT, and then there we go, the Poku, the last round Poku, the only way to do it.
Yeah, I like this THT a lot better at 176 than like the 150 or whatever his ADP is. Like I'm much more okay taking THT in the 15th than the 13th.
Yeah. Aaron, I don't know if you're in the chat, Aaron Dyson. But if you are, let me know and I'll go over it. But I know big ticket is. So we got big ticket with a KD DeMar start and then an SGA Russ. Russ makes me nervous as hell because I feel like there's a chance he's traded and then bought out or whatever. So but I do like this KD DeMar SGA and then Jalen Green right there is awesome. Wagner, Capella. Did you know, I learned this from a podcast yesterday. I had no idea Capella led the league in rebounding last year.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Did he qualify? He didn't,
Yeah.
he was out for a while.
I'm pretty sure. I thought that's,
although it was. No. Gobert 14.7, Capella 11.9. Yeah, take that podcast out of the rotation.
Dude, I think it was Bill Simmons.
Well, you and I have talked about that before on Twitter. We should both take him out of the rotation.
All right, Grant, Gary Trent Jr., then we get Zubats and Adams. Steven Adams, I feel like, is someone who's kind of intriguing, just at least like at this range, knowing he's just going to play. Well, actually, if Jaren Jackson Jr. is back as soon as we think he might be, then maybe not. But I feel like
he's still the starting center. It was just playoff matchups last year. Like, I think that's what people remember, that Steven Adams couldn't get on the court in the playoffs, and I think that will happen again. But in the regular season, they're going to use him for all his minutes.
It's going to be fine.
I mean, they got to milk food. They're paying him pretty well.
Yeah.
And I like that pick a lot. 126. Wow.
Yeah.
And big ticket. It took Trey Mann from you there.
Yeah, Trey Mann, and then the Will Barton that we called out, J.D. McDaniels, Mason Plumlee, and then, dude, look at this. Is what I'm talking about. This is how you make a last round pick right there.
Mm-hmm.
Zaire Williams. I love that because I haven't seen him on boards at all, but he's a second-year guy and probably going to have a bigger role with the pieces that they lost in the offseason. I love that pick.
I imagine that's the guy on that Grizzlies team that most of the more casual fans wouldn't be able to name. Like, he started, I think, the majority of the games for them last year.
Yeah. With Brooks out, he started. And now, like, with Kyle Anderson gone, I mean, I think that was kind of the bet that they were making, right? Like, where they lost Slow-Mo and Melton, and they were like, well, we think Zaire is going to take a bigger step. So I love it. All right, here we go. I don't know. Is Fireware? I'm not sure if Fireware is in here. I know Neil is, though, right? Did we say Neil was in here? Or maybe
he
not.
has to be taking Embiid third after we talked about it.
Right. So Embiid, Murray,
hand from me.
Yeah, that's true. We had a couple of snipes. Embiid, Murray, Beal. Then we got Garland, Middleton, Şengün. Man, I love the Şengün pick. And then Devin Vassell, Simons. I have been taking Simons when he falls to me here and there too. I feel like he'll still. I know he's not going to have the same volume he did last year, but I think he still will have some volume. Hayward, Bobby, Monty Morris, who I have no idea what to do with. Kevin Huerter, Norman Powell. There's your Sohan. Trey Murphy. Look, I love a dart throw. Walker Kessler, another dart throw. Love these dart throws late.
That's probably my favorite team on the board, outside of yours and mine, of course.
Of course.
The only change I would make there is, instead of Bobby P, I would have taken Tari Eason.
Yeah.
Just because you have Embiid and Şengün already, and like getting Kessler at 190 is fantastic.
Yeah.
I just don't think I need a fourth big once I start Embiid and Şengün.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You've got even if like you lose Embiid for a little bit, Şengün's still going to be like a volume play, I think.
Yeah.
All right, now let's roast this one. We've got Giannis, Kawhi, Sabonis, CP3. This is the one that hurts you, though, right? Is it CP3 that you hate?
Yeah, I'm not high on that team at all. I don't have hardly any Devin Booker or CP3. Like, it's been 99% of the time Drew Holiday right there for me, but because I had Giannis, I did, and I don't think that should be a rule if you're drafting. Like, you can absolutely take Giannis at 2 and Drew at 50 or wherever this is. Like,
of course.
But again, just diversifying. And if CP stays healthy, then
great pick. It's a value.
That's a big if then, though.
Yeah. And then of course, you got Keldon, Sexton, D'Lo, then Triple J. Needed to make sure you get some more Triple J. Trey, this is one of your favorite teams, actually. Now that I'm reading these off, Trey Jones, Triple J, Keldon, Tari Eason. You get some Oubre, Jalen Williams late, Fultz, TJ. If TJ Warren is fucking anything this year, this is going to be such a steal this late, I think.
If he's what, 50% of bubble TJ Warren, that's value? Like, he doesn't have to do much.
Well, and like he is their bench scoring, right? Is it like him and Seth? I'm assuming Seth.
I imagine, and Seth is also not ready for the regular season, so we'll see how that plays out. Like, I guess from my own like fandom of these players on the Nets, I hope Cam Thomas can kind of like grab a hold of a role, but we'll see. I mean, he's a little bit of a loose cannon too.
He really is. I know. Jay Blaze in the chat, big Cam Thomas fan, has been bummed out that he hasn't gotten gotten his shine, and it seems like Brooklyn Twitter has like turned on him, and they were like, let's just trade him and get some assets.
Hey, I mean, if we got Jakob Pertl down there in San Antonio,
there you go,
maybe
straight up
throw
1-1.
us Sharp and Cam Thomas for Jakob Pertl.
There we
Do
go.
that deal.
No, who says no? All right, I went Jokic, Siakam, Brown, Drew Holiday, RJ, Kevin Porter Jr., Jordan. Oh, I didn't even realize I got Jordan Poole and Draymond Green like that. There we go. That's nice.
I didn't either. That's great.
That's great. This is a friendship lineup. Dinwiddie, who honestly, I think you talked about Dinwiddie last week, and that's why I started sniping him here and there.
Yep.
Karras, Cam. This is where it falls off for me. I don't really love this back-to-back of Karras and Cam, but I guess with the wings I have, I don't need it to be a home run.
I mean, Cam Johnson there, if he starts, and he's going to begin the year,
yeah,
those Suns guys play a ton of minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And he's been good in this time. He's just always been in that 6-man role the last 2 seasons for this team. And
right,
if he steps up and gets to that next level as a young player, I think it's a fine value there.
Yeah. And then we got Mark Williams, the Dort Report, Fournier, and then I'm happy with the Melton Christopher there to round it off. Those are two guys I don't mind taking some shots on there.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, man. This is great. I was glad we get to do this a second time. Where should we send people? Where should people come find the Kawhisenberg?
Okay, let's see. FTNfantasy.com for the best ball rankings. Those are free. If you're a subscriber, you get my best ball strategy articles. I've been putting out some season-long draft strategy articles as well. Rankings will be updated Friday. So, of course, the small ball is going to be full, but use those for any other drafts. New strategy article out on Friday.
Nice.
Super draft. We're starting next Tuesday with our Top Shot DFS contest.
Nice.
Going to be some. There's going to be a little raffle that the judge will announce related to our prop product. Very similar to what you would play on Underdog or a Prize Pick, something like that.
Yeah,
we've got that over there as well. So I'm a man of many websites, I guess you could say.
We love it. Well, thank you so much, man, for coming on. Appreciate it. For everyone else, hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Good luck getting some more lineups in before it fills. And we'll be back tomorrow. Nothing else coming at you today, so we'll be back tomorrow morning. So for Kawhisenberg, Mike, we are out.
Well, the Top Shot Street